Okay, number one, the indigenous Europeans still exist. Number two, they still live in Europe to this day. They're still there. We're not talking about the booty scratching Africans. No offense to you African people, but we don't care. All right, you guys try to culturally assimilate every name, country we come from, the American, right? American Indians, the indigenous Europeans, which are still alive and well. And fun fact for you, it's millions of them. 10 plus million, 15 million of them still living in Europe to this day, and they're not of African descent. Think about it, African, right? Of Nigerian descent, Nigerian German, right? Okay, you got the Nigerian German, right? And you got the Afro-German or the Afro-French, Afro-British. You see the difference? That's the same misnomers of a hairstyle they add on those freaking people, man. So what does that tell you? They are indigenous to the nation. They were reclassified, so they're still around. They know the differentiated difference between the original Europeans, such as myself, of my bloodline, right? Irish, British, Scottish, and German, and the so-called Africans who migrate to these nations. They know the difference. That's why they put them in the forefront. So they pump fake us and make us think that the indigenous Europeans cease to exist. You guys keep saying that over and over. More is this, more is that. Okay, and did you forget that there were secret societies of our people all over the planet? Of American Indian tribes, right? The Black Americans, all right? The Aussies, all of the indigenous people. That there were people doing coups across the planet. And they turned against us. We were deported, our ancestors, my ancestors, from Ireland after Jacobite rebellion, straight back to the 13 colonies, from which they left thousands of years ago, right? When they went to build and cultivate Europe. So not all of us were sellouts, man. You need to stop pointing a finger at us Europeans, man. That got to stop, mate. If you don't know what you're talking about, be quiet. Stop talking. You guys say things without knowing anything, and you be the ones that be passing false information on these platforms. And I'm tired of that. Go to my page. You're going to see where I explain the Moor thing and put it in the coffin. And it shows that they say the Moors railroaded everybody. They did not. And they're indigenous to the Americas. And there's Moorish even architecture here in Manila right now. There's Moorish architecture. I just saw it. I just saw it the other day. Going from here to Alabang, another part in the city of Manila. So that shows, okay, if that was the case, they would have not gotten any of that stuff built if they were turning against us. So this seemed to be unanimous across the planet, that a coup of indigenous people decided to turn and bring the white tea people in and everybody else, and to sell out their societies. This was done unanimously. So if it was done unanimously, mate, explain to me how it's just a Moors or that our people were the ones selling out. My ancestors got kicked out and stripped of royal titles. I go back to Kenneth the Niger MacAlpin. My great-grandfather is King Edward IV, and he was a man of color. I got the real portraits. I'm connected to the royal bloodline. My cousin, also on here as well, is connected to the royal bloodline. So who are you to tell us that these people no longer exist? We're still here, mate. We're still here. And the ones in Europe, I'm glad for them because they never got taken off their lands. They just got reclassified and the land given away to the foreigner, the white tea man. When I say white tea, the white man. That's who it was given to. And the Africans. Because the Africans and white people lay in the bed at the same. That's the reason why they're put in the forefront. While the white man is in this fake acting titles of royalty. Because fake titles, man. These guys can never have our sovereignty. They never can have the blood connection to the land. They can never own the land. They're just living on it. The second you wake up, you're going to realize that those guys over there are going to start booting them out. Just like the American Indians are doing right now. Right? So that's what I'm going back to do, is reclaim my birthright, my European birthright. So I am an indigenous European, and I'm speaking on the truth. So you, if you don't know anything, sit down, because we're tired of you guys running around disrespecting our bloodline. Not all of us were sellouts. We got railroaded after Jacobite rebellion. We were literally ripped apart. We were unalived our people. They cut the stomach open of our women that were pregnant, threw them in ravines. They did a bunch of evil stuff. They threw our people on freaking barbecues and set them on fire when some of our people sold out. And they sold out with the white tees running into the cities, colonizing everything. So you're telling me all of us just sold out? Yeah, I bet you didn't know any of that stuff, huh? I bet that makes you feel pretty bad, don't it? Making assumptions and pointing fingers when you have no answer. You don't even know the answers. You're just assuming. You're just repeating whatever you're hearing on the internet without reading. So read the Negro Question Part 4, and that junk gonna make you very angry because you're gonna realize the truth of the Irish, British, and Scottish and what really happened to us. We're still here. But so a lot of us were deported to the Caribbean. A lot of us were deported to the 13 colonies, such as myself. And I'm going back to reclaim my sovereignty. Like I said, we need to stop living in ignorance as indigenous people across these nations because this got to stop. It seems like we're the only ones over here that don't know anything in the Americas. You know, because the Europeans, those people know their history. Go over there and tell them they're African or they're Moor. They're going to hurt you. That's just the way it is. All right? So enough with the ignorance. All right? You need to get on your stuff. Check out my page. And any of you watching, check out my page as well and go learn something new. Because I talk about the Moors on here. And I have the books to prove it. And they're indigenous to the Americas. And they never sold out in the first place.